All right, welcome everyone to the live stream. As you may have noticed, I don't have like a video card in front of me. We're just gonna be kind of talking about stuff. I may actually live stream, like putting together the loop and stuff a little bit later, but I don't have all the materials yet. But in any case, if you are watching right now, thank you guys so much. Make sure to hit the like button on this stream because believe it or not, that may actually help. I know I'm doing it a little bit later in the day than usual, but I figured, hey, what the heck? So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the actual stream. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up, look at your guys' comments a little better here. But in any case, yeah. So I started a little bit later in the day today because I had to reinstall OBS and I forgot about that. So I had to redo all that. But in any case, we're gonna talk about water cooling the RTX 3090 Strix. So. I'm going to be water cooling the Strix RTX 3090 in a custom loop. The reason why I'm going to be doing this is because I was able to get a 3090 Strix. It's stupid expensive. I don't recommend you actually buy it. It's a little bit ridiculous, but hey, this is a tech channel, so we're doing interesting stuff with interesting fast hardware. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a custom loop, and I may be putting liquid metal on it. Now, I think I'm going to test it first without liquid metal, and if the temperatures are already really good, then I'll probably just stick with that, because if your temperatures are already really good, you don't really gain a whole lot by going to the liquid metal. However, when you are in a custom loop, you can actually gain a decent performance drop by moving to liquid metal, because it gets to a point where now your cooler is no longer the bottleneck. It's actually the thermal interface that becomes the bottleneck. Just getting the heat out of the GPU into the cooler becomes somewhat of a problem. But we'll see if that does end up being the problem. If you're wondering right now, if you're looking at 3090s, I would probably avoid the Strix, which is a little bit weird to say unless you're water cooling. And here's why. So the 3090 Founders Edition, you can get about under 60 degrees Celsius with a custom fan curve. However, the Strix version of this card, despite it having an 80 watt extra power limit, so instead of being 400 watts, it's 480 watts. It actually isn't real, like, it's not really that much better. You're drawing 800 or 800, you're drawing 80 more watts, and unfortunately, it's just not giving you a whole lot. Someone said, Gamers Nexus put liquid metal on his 3090, it worked fine. Yeah, no, there is some benefit to be gained from doing liquid metal. There is some benefit, but for the most part, if you already have really good temperatures, it's not going to give you a lot more. And liquid metal is just kind of a mess in terms of getting it to work right, because you have to put the right amount on there. You have to like either use nail polish or liquid tape over the capacitors to make sure that just in case it leaks over onto them, you're not going to short the capacitors and kill your GPU. So it's just a lot of extra work, and it's a little bit of extra risk, whereas it could end up not really being worth it. So I may use liquid metal, but I'm going to first test it with just the regular thermal paste, because it'd be interesting, you know, if that's still not doing that great, then yeah, change to liquid metal. We'll see what happens there. But in any case, like I was talking about, I probably wouldn't recommend a 3090 Strix, and the reason being is despite it having a better power limit and having actually really good power delivery, the power delivery is actually not quite as good as the 3090 Founders Edition. The cooler's nowhere near as good. So I know there's some videos showing like stock versus stock performance of a 3090 Strix versus a Founders Edition, and the temperatures weren't that much higher on the Strix. However, when you start overclocking, it rapidly becomes a lot hotter. Now, I think that I also got maybe a poorly machined Strix cooler. I don't think it's perfectly flat. Like maybe if I actually like sanded it down or something, then it probably would become more flat and give me better temperatures. But there's a lot of people reporting like mid 70 temperatures with a custom fan speed with a 3090 Strix, whereas with a custom fan speed with the 3090 Founders Edition, you're talking like 60 degrees or lower. So it's definitely like a huge difference in terms of the cooling performance. At 480 watts, the Strix will draw up to 80 watts and 80 watts will get up to 80 degrees Celsius in games at times, which is a little bit ridiculous. So clearly, the Strix cooler, at least in my opinion, with normal thermal paste, really can't handle 480 watts that well. If it is in like, if it goes between the low 70s to the to up to 80 degrees Celsius, that's a little hot to be running a GPU. It's not horrible, it's fine, but it's a little hot, and for a really premium GPU, it's not that great. So my recommendation is, if you are going to buy a 3090, just get the Founders Edition if you're not interested in water cooling, simply because you're going to get really good temperatures. It's only going to draw 400 watts, and I say only, but that's a lot. If you overclock it, you can push up to 400 watts, which is higher than a lot of third parties already. Other than that, I would say maybe like if you want something better than the Founders Edition, but you don't want to do custom water cooling, maybe look at the Kingpin if you can get it. Because that already has a 360 millimeter water cooler on it already. But so what I'm going to be doing, probably this week or next week, I will be getting the full custom loop stuff. I got some stuff from Corsair. I got a block from Corsair, as well as they're actually not sponsoring me, by the way. I just bought it. So I got a block from Corsair. I got a pump from Corsair, and I was going to get a radiator from Corsair, but I found a thicker radiator. I'm getting a 420 millimeter radiator, so it's a big radiator for just one GPU. The reason why I like Corsair's block, by the way, if you are into water cooling, is it comes like just pre-done for you. It's got the thermal paste on it. It's got the pads already on it. You just drop your GPU on it and you're good to go. So it's like super easy for people who are just getting into it. So I really like that. Let's see. Okay, can you stop flexing, please? People dream to buy graphics cards these days. Well, I know this may be shocking, but I think about half my audience has actually already purchased an RTX 30 series GPU. I could run another poll, but at the time, like a few months ago, it was nearly half the amount of people who are watching had gotten one already. So yeah, unfortunately, it kind of sucks that you can't just go out and buy a video card. But a lot of people surprisingly have still been able to get one. So it's if you do want to get one, my advice would be literally just like be checking your phone all the time and stuff. Sign up for the EVGAQ when new cards come out. Be following bots like BroBot. That'll help you get your cards if you want to. If you like, and this is kind of screwed up, but if you want a card, you can still buy a 3090. It's not easy, but because they're so expensive and so stupidly expensive, they are still possible to purchase. 3080s are so high in demand and their value is so good, despite the MSRPs increasing, that they're really hard to get. It's like I tell people not even to try to buy a 3080 right now. Like if you're looking at a 3080, if it pops up and you have a chance, sure, go for it. But honestly, I'd be looking at a 3070 because right now, 3080s are just too hard to get. They're so high in demand that I just can't. I've never been able to purchase a 3080 without being in the EVGAQ. Never. I've never been able to do it. So I've been able to buy 3070s. I've been able to buy 3060. I've been able to buy 3090. I cannot buy a 3080. And if you're wondering where all those cards go, where I have B-roll of them, they're actually with friends and family. So like my dad has a 3070, my girlfriend has a 3060, I'm getting a 3060 to my other friend right now. One of my friends has a 3080. They all wanted to upgrade. They all had like 1070s at 1440p 144 hertz, so they're due for an upgrade. And so that's a perfect place for that. Recommendation on how to buy it in Canada, it'd be the same stuff. That's what I'd say. But yeah, realistically, if you are going to buy a 3090, yeah, probably don't buy the Strix. It's just not actually really any better, and it's just more expensive, is my take on it. Except for if you throw it in a water cooling loop, then it should be better. But a water cooling loop is stupid expensive as well. It's ridiculous. The only reason I'm doing a water cooling loop is simply because it gives me a little bit of extra experience doing computer hardware, as I've never actually done a full loop before. So that's just something that I think would be fun for the channel. But in any case, let's see. I'm gonna answer some questions here as well. So if you are watching right now, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna be answering some of your questions during this live stream. By the way, I didn't say this near the beginning. However, if you do a super chat during the live stream, I will actually, like, if you get a hold of me afterwards, whether it be via Twitter or my email, I'll get you a link to our Discord, which I should really be pulling up the Discord right now, but I'll get to them later. All right. What's up graphically, says El Musi. Hey. Let's see. Does anyone know if the EVGA RTX 3084 the Win 3 Ultra has the same PCB as the hybrid version? I think they actually are. I'm pretty sure they are. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they are. In Europe is impossible to find any card. I've had some people tell me like you can buy cards over there, but they're just like basically scalper prices. Haven't you snapped your neck yet? No, I have not. But yeah, if you guys are tuning in just now, by the way, yeah, I don't have a video card in front of me. I may live stream actually putting it together at some point, but I think just for fun, you can't really buy whatever cards you want right now. So if you got one, throwing in a loop is kind of fun. So I'm going to be full loop water cooling a Strix, and I may actually be applying liquid metal as well. When do you expect prices to lower? I don't think prices are going to lower. Like Founders Editions becoming more available maybe, but prices, I don't see them going down, guys. I see them going up. Like this generation probably isn't going to get even more expensive at this point. However, next generation is going to be expensive. So like, I don't think prices are going back down, because you got to remember we're having a ton of inflation going on right now. And on top of that, people have been buying $2,000-$3,000 video cards for a long time. So that tells Nvidia and AMD that they've been underselling their cards essentially. So they're going to take advantage of that. Yeah, the 4000 series is going to be really expensive. Midnight Dragon GH says, hey there. Let's see. MSI and Asus are already hiking MSRPs again. I think I'm going to change the name of the stream, because I think I see the way things are going. And I think I need to talk about GPU availability more here again. So let's change the name of the stream to GPU availability. Oh, geez. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. GPU availability and liquid metal custom loop water cooling. Let's see. That should be good. All right, let's see. Hold on. I'll get back to you guys in just a second here. I think I have some tags in here that does. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Hold on. Stock and availability. People like the word stock for some reason. GPU stock and availability and liquid metal custom loop. Let's try that. There we go. All right. I'll get back to you guys now. I'm sure I missed a few people. I just know this is going to devolve into us talking about GPU availability, so I might as well talk. The Best Buy drop yesterday was huge. Yeah, it was pretty big. I actually didn't even participate, because I think pretty much the last card I was looking for was a 3060 for a friend, and I got a EVGA notification for one, so I just went that route. At this point, I don't think I need to buy any more graphics card. I don't know what I'd do with them. So I only have one personally, but like nobody else I don't know I don't have any other friends, I don't think, who are looking to upgrade. So I don't know what I'd do with them. I guess I could buy video cards and sell them on the Discord. I could actually possibly do that, and I may think about that. Let me know what you guys think. Should I buy video cards when I see them and sell them to Discord members? Let me know your thoughts in the chat right now, because I could actually do that. Yes, sure, yes. I guess that could be an incentive. So here's the thing. I'll try and do that. But like, I'm not any different than you guys. So like, when you see videos of me having B-roll of, like, I think if I had in total my hands on like 6 different 30 series cards or 8 or something, that's just me being fast with my phone. So I get these, and then what I do is I take B-roll of them, I plug them in and test them, and then I sell them to my friends for MSRP. That's what I've been doing with them, just so that I've been able to get people cards, because I know it's like, if you can't sit and work at home, it's really hard to get them, because you can't be at work checking your phone. It doesn't really, a lot of people don't like that. A lot of employers don't like that. So that's what I've been doing. But I have no more friends who would want cards, but I do want to get more B-roll. Like, it makes sense for me to buy cards just to shoot B-roll of them and then flip them for MSRP, just because it's nice to have more B-roll in my videos. So here's the thing, though. What I was getting at is, if I do sell RTX 30 series cards in my Discord, which is possible, it's going to be A, kind of first come, first serve, and B, I'm probably not going to have very many. Like, I'm not going to have like 10 cards in my hands. That just doesn't happen. I'm just a person who's trying to buy a video card. So it may be like once every few weeks I get one. It may be once a month I get one. I may never get one. I may literally never get an email to buy another card again. I don't know. So it's hard to say. Or I could just suddenly start getting cards every week. It's possible. However, if you guys do want to do that, I should probably pull up my Discord right now, actually. Oh, that's right. I forgot my password. So I have it on my phone, but I can't pull it up on my computer right now because I forgot the password for it, and I'm not about to do like a whole password reset in the middle of a stream. That would be a waste of your guys' time. So, but in any case, I guess there's some incentive for you guys to join the Discord. And if you're wondering to yourself, how do I join the Discord? You can do it in one of two ways. You either support on Patreon, in which case I'll get back to you and get you a link to the Discord, or you can do a super chat during the live stream, and then I will also, if you get a hold of me afterwards, if you send me like a message on Twitter or you send me an email, then I'll get you a private link as well. So that's how you get access to the Discord. Super chats typically are the easiest. But yeah, I'll try and flip some in the Discord if I can. I'll mostly be looking at like 3060s, 3060 Ti, and 3070 if I can, because those are more affordable. I don't want to be just like hanging on. If I can get cards, I don't want to be like hanging on to 3090s and trying to sell them. That's a lot of money. And I will be shipping them from a PO box. So no, it's not going to have my address on it. And then the second thing would be, they will be insured and require signature as well. So that's how that would work. But in any case, I sent you a message on Discord. Kieran, thank you for the £2. He says, can I join your Discord? Yeah, so in order to do that, yes, so first step, great. Did a super chat. Awesome. Thank you so much for the £2. Afterwards, just get a hold of me via my Twitter or email. By the way, if you're wondering where those are, they're literally on my main page. Like, if you click on my channel and go to the About section, I believe, they're right there. So then I'll get back to you and send you a private link to the Discord. I usually get back really fast, but I won't do it during the live stream, simply because I got to be focused on the live stream. So I guess you can't send it to Europe. Yeah, this is gonna be U.S. only. Just letting you guys know. Like, I don't know how I would be able to send stuff to another country. I could look into it. If you get a hold of me in the Discord, I can see about that if I do actually have a card that you want. But again, like right now I have 0 extra cards on me. 0. The one card that I have coming in that's extra is getting sold to my friend already. So I'm not like I'm not sitting here like Hardware Unboxed or something with a pile of GPUs. That's just not how it works. I cannot afford to sit on that. That's a little ridiculous. Nor could I actually get my hands on that, because you also got to remember, nobody sends me anything. So and frankly, I like that companies don't send me video cards, because I don't want to sign NDAs. I mean, if they just want to send me it for no reason, go ahead, but I don't want to send. I don't want NDAs. What's on your Discord? I basically just talk to people on my Discord a lot recently. So they helped me pick out my new case. Recently, I've been kind of talking about water cooling. There's been a guy in the Discord who's been really helpful, helping me pick out like the right tubing and stuff, which has been awesome. We don't organize a raid on Nvidia's GPU factory. Let's see, would you expect prices to lower by 2030, or do you expect them to never lower? No, prices are never lowering, because you got to remember, guys, like inflation continues to occur, and we just had massive inflation that's about to occur. So prices for video cards will never go back down unless the competition gets so fierce that they have no choice. That could be a potential option. However, like without Intel stepping into the ring and being really, really competitive, it's very unlikely that prices would go down, because AMD and Nvidia tend to slot in next to each other. They don't really like directly competing on price. They both just want to make a lot of money right now, is what it seems like. $3080 Ti release date, tell me. Well, it was going to come out this month. It looks like it's been pushed back to next month right now. Mid-month is probably going to get announced, and then end of month it'll probably be sold. But you do have to remember, they may push it back again if, and this is only if people keep buying 3090s for a lot of money. And a lot of people keep doing that. So we'll see what happens there. Probably the same reason why you can't really buy a 3080 right now, is because the 3090s are just flying off the shelves. So I RMA'd my 3090 Supreme X twice. I did a third time. It's coming back a few days. If I have the same problem again, I might explode. Well, what problem are you having? Geez, that's a lot of RMAs. I got kind of a stinker with the Strix. The GPU itself doesn't clock that high, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm here just for the backflip. Do a backflip? What? I cannot do a backflip. Guys, guys, I'm like over 200 pounds. I can't do a backflip. I mean, I'm not like overweight, but I'm not skinny or flexible. So there's no way a backflip's happening. Do a backflip or no more silicon. Forward roll. Does it look like there's room back here? Because like this is the wall. I don't think a forward roll would be able to happen. 3090 Founders Edition versus 3090 Strix. Buy the Founders Edition. It's cheaper, and frankly, it's better. It has a better cooler. It may not clock quite as high on average, because it has a lower power limit, but it's realistically a better card, in my opinion. More performance per watt would be what I would say about that. I think they're like definitely binned. The Strix has better looks. Here's what I'll say about the Strix. It looks good. But in person, the Founders Edition actually looks better, and it's clearly higher quality. It weighs a lot more. It feels nicer. It's all metal. The Founders Edition just is clearly better. The Strix Edition has a plastic shroud. While it looks nice, it certainly doesn't feel nice. And in person, you can tell which one's higher quality. So, like, you throw a water cooler on the Strix, and it's awesome. I'm sure it'd be just fantastic, and that's what I'm going to be doing. But without water cooling, it's a little weak, in my opinion. Blackjack says, I love my 3090 Strix. Just as a question, Blackjack, A, do you overclock it? And B, what kind of temperatures do you see out of it while gaming? I'm curious to know. It seems like some people, I don't know if there's like a machining issue going on, but there seems to be like a 5 to 10 degree difference in reporting of people. Like a lot of people report like mid 70s temperatures, and then a lot of people report like the mid to upper 60s. So it's weird. It's almost as if there's like a machining issue going on. Wait, did the Founders Edition increase in price? It shouldn't have. What are your top 3 3090 GPUs? Probably Kingpin, Founders Edition, and then maybe the Tough, because it's not as good as the Strix, but it's a lot less money. So yeah, thoughts on Ryzen 7 5800X? The 5800X is great for like light video editing and stuff. It's honestly awesome because you really don't need 12 cores for video editing. You're doing most stuff on your GPU anyway, so the 8 cores is really all you need. It's a really fast CPU, but it's overpriced. It's too expensive. Is the 5600X worth it over the 3600? It depends on what you're doing. Like generally no, but if you're after like every last frame, then yeah. Actually, I do want to talk about this. This is a little weird, but so typically it's a little bit difficult to reach good all-core clock speeds on Ryzen processors. However, I was actually able. I just decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to manually overclock my 5900X. We'll see what happens. And I actually did get like a nearly 10% increase in multi-core performance, which is pretty good. And that's over PBO. Almost 10% over PBO, so probably over 10% versus stock. But what I found out was I was able to get 6 cores to 4.85 gigahertz and the other 6 cores to 4.8 gigahertz. So I actually did exceed the spec technically in terms of their single core boost. Now, realistically, they can hit up to like 5 gigahertz, but yeah, that's what I was able to do. So I think I actually did get like a single core and multi-core performance increase. So that's pretty good. Justify These Heathens says 420. I think you're referring to the 420 millimeter radiator. Don't worry, I got a 420 millimeter radiator and it's a thick one. It's coming in. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a custom loop with a thick 420 millimeter radiator. I might be using liquid metal if the temperatures still aren't that great, because like I said, my 3090 Strix that I picked up to take some B-roll of and stuff, it's like really bizarrely hot. Like at 480 watts, which is a lot of power, the GPU can reach up to 80 degrees Celsius when playing games. Now it's typically in the lower 70s, but I've seen it peak up to 80 degrees, which is really hot. So that's why I'm just doing a loop on it and seeing what happens. What RAM are you running with your 5900X? You know, here's a funny thing. If you're into video editing and stuff, 32 gigabytes, I thought like, you don't really need it yet. It seems like this year it started to get to the point where like, yeah, you do actually need it. So I threw in 32 gigabytes over 16 gigabytes, and it turns out I actually did see some like more fluid timeline performance and stuff. It seems to clearly have helped. I am using over 20 gigabytes of RAM at times, so it's 32 gigabytes of 3600 megahertz G-Skill memory. It's nothing special. It's not B-Die, because unfortunately the B-Die was like $400-$500. It's just like completely out of stock, versus like $150 for the other stuff. So I was just like, that's just too much. So I got that, and I just kind of tweaked the sub timings. But yeah, that's what I'm using. So TY Awesome 111, thank you so much for the $2. He says, your Discord sounds cool. Also, what's your favorite song? I don't really have a favorite song. I like a lot of different songs and genres. You know, I like some radio music. I like some rap. I like some rock. It's kind of a mix. But thank you for the $2. If you do want to get added to the Discord, just get a hold of me after the stream, and I will try and send you, well, I won't try, I will. If you get a hold of me after the stream via either Twitter or via my email, then I will actually get you a private link to the Discord. So, and by the way, we were talking about this earlier, so I'm going to try and get my hands on a couple of 30 series cards and sell them exclusively in the Discord if I can. No promises. I'm just a guy trying to buy stuff, so I don't know if I'll actually be able to do it. But yeah, there may be some 30 series cards being sold for MSRP in the Discord. So yeah, that's how that'll go down. What's your background? This is foam. Foam, that's what that is. I have an opportunity to buy a 6700 XT for 820 years. You think it'll be a good option? No, do not buy that. That is way too expensive. Renton says, do you think the companies would want to keep the shortage to keep demand high and prices high? No. Like Nvidia and AMD don't really benefit that much from the shortage. They'd prefer to sell you more cards. So, like maybe if there's like a middleman involved somewhere who's making money, they like the shortage. but the big companies, it doesn't really help them. Get some of that gamer water, boys. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I mean like cultural background. Oh, I got like part Irish, I got part Hungarian, I got part, I think it's a little bit of German or something. Like, it's just all over the map. It's all over the place. Do a backflip? No. What did you do for a job before YouTube? Thank you so much, Matt Thayer, for the $5. So before I was doing YouTube, so I was working on computers, and then I was working in like a print lab, and then that actually got shut down because of COVID. And I was doing YouTube that whole time, but it was more part-time. And then while I was just sitting at home, I was like, it's gonna be hard to find another job for a while, so I'm just gonna go all in on YouTube and see what happens. That's what I did, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going back. I love working on computers and all, but YouTube's a little more fun. Why would Intel make their flagship CPU an 8-core? Because they have to. They couldn't make a 10-core, and don't buy it. It sucks. Midnight Dragon GH says, I'll buy a 3080 Finals Edition, Asus TUF GeForce RTX 3080 OC Edition. Either way, if you happen to get a hold of those, make sure to send me a message in the Discord. Yeah, I'll let you know. But realistically, don't set your expectations high, because I don't think I'll be able to get a 3080. 3080s are really hard to get. I could probably get a 3090. I'm not going to, simply because they're too expensive. I don't want to be holding on to 3090s. 3070, 3060 Ti, 3060. So realistically, I'll probably be able to get 3060, a 3070, maybe a 3060 Ti. Those seem to be really hard to get. And I'll be trying to get them as close to MSRP as possible. But you got to remember, the original MSRPs aren't possible anymore. They just aren't. So yeah, that's the best I can do. Is it worth to overclock a 3060 Ti? I have a Founders Edition. I mean, I think overclocking is just great to do on any card, but I mean, it's not going to give you a lot of performance, so if you don't want to bother with it, it's no problem, you know. It kind of ends up being a little bit more useful either, well, usually on like the top end cards, because they're usually pretty power limited and stuff, but this time around they kind of cranked the power, so even then. So Alan Matheson, gosh, I'm so bad at this. Matheson, I'm going to call you that, sorry. Love your channel, good and informative. What do you think about upgrading from 3700X to 5800X at 1440p competitive gaming and multitasking? I think that's kind of actually worth it. It's not going to like blow you away, but if you are competitive gaming, I think it's worth it. Have you considered a job as a lion tamer? Not yet, but maybe I will. Lion taming, that's interesting. I wonder if it pays well. It seems like it should. That seems kind of dangerous. It seems like it should pay really well. You got another super chat coming in from Discreet Luca. Thank you so much for the $5. He says, the problem with the 3090 Supreme X is that my motherboard X570 Unify saying that my GPU either isn't detected or failed. I've tried everything. That's bizarre. You've probably tried all this, but just I'll try and throw some things out there. Maybe you haven't. Try plugging into different not slots in the motherboard. That probably won't help. But different like HDMI display ports. You could try that. Make sure all 3 different cables have separate PCIe cables from the power supply plugged in, so don't daisy chain. That may help. Other than that, it's possible you got something defective. It certainly is. They're really rushing them out right now, but that is a strange issue. That's weird. You can try also updating your motherboard BIOS. That may help. Other than that, I really don't know what else to do for you, because if those 3 things don't help, then at that point, there's really not much you can do. You could check it in another computer, see if there's something wrong with your motherboard. That's something you could do. But other than that, yeah, I guess RMA. Let's see. Best 3060 Ti and how's their availability? I don't actually know what the best 3060 Ti is, but I know their availability is not great. It was on launch, and then after that, they've been hard to find. You recommend... Oh, he's talking about laptops. I can't help you with that. I've been out of the laptop scene for a while, to be honest with you guys. 6800 XT sucks on RTX and doesn't have DLSS. I don't care too much about RTX yet, but DLSS is kind of a big deal. I'm going to say it. By the way, if you are watching this right now, make sure that you hit the like button on the stream. Let's try and get this out to more people if we can. Let's do this, baby. Let's hit 100 likes. Let's see. Okay, first impressions, a cross between Daniel Radcliffe and Lex Friedman. I pressed the dislike button. No, you didn't, you liar. I can see it. Oh, man. I got one of those, like, sneezes coming on. I'm just going to hold it in, boys. Oh. Woo. Woo, 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 woo. I don't know. This is kind of off topic, but does anyone remember Joey's World Tour? I'm not going to play any of that stuff, but does anyone remember? Is it just me? I remember Joey's World Tour very vividly. I just woo. I remember him going like all over YouTube at some point. Like everyone was talking about him. It's just there's some good, all I'll say is there's some good compilations online. My friend sent me a couple videos the other day, and I was like, I remember this guy. I can't believe him. Oh gosh, that was a ride. That was a ride. Please share your thoughts about the RX 6800 XT compared to 3080. I only need to buy my GPU to start my build. In my opinion, I'd rather have the 3080 simply because I do more than game. I use Adobe software and stuff where that GPU acceleration works. I don't know if it works right now with AMD. It didn't on launch. I can tell you that for sure. So for right now, I'm sticking with Nvidia because I know it's going to work with Premiere, and I need that. If you're just gaming and you're gaming at like 1080p or 1440p, the 6800 XT would actually probably be the better choice. So it kind of depends on what you're doing. But you also miss out on DLSS, which who knows when they're going to have that Fidelity FX super resolution. It's really hard to say. All right, thoughts on GPU AIOs, and do you think that the EVGA AIO 3080 kit will fit on MSI card? No. Don't do that. The reason why, I'm like, it may even actually fit, but the reason why I say don't put an AIO for the EVGA 4013 onto another card is because the VRM layout is likely going to be different. So you're probably not going to get direct cooling to the VRMs, which is not ideal. And it may actually not even be the same memory layout. I don't know. It probably is, but it may not be. So if you jerry rig it on, it could totally not be cooling parts of the GPU that are important to cool. But overall, my thoughts on AIOs is that they're actually, I like them a lot. I like AIOs. I think that they're really nice. I think that they do typically a better job than air coolers. If you get a nice AIO, if you get a big one with a big tank and a very big radiator, well, big tank, it's bigger radiator, I guess. And then on top of that, they're a lot cheaper than custom loops. I'm going to be honest with you guys, custom loops aren't worth it. They definitely are not. It's just like a fun hobby to do. It's kind of like working on your car, adding things that aren't necessarily worth it. It's just fun, but realistically, price to performance in AIO is a much better use of your money. It just is. So I like the Arctic Liquid Freezer AIOs are very good. They even have a Arctic Liquid Freezer 420. That one's really good. Realistically, going above a 360 doesn't help that much. So you're probably better off getting a 280 or 360 AIO. Custom loops add insane maintenance, cost, and time. Maintenance, not that much, but cost and time, yes. That's the big problem. And we got another super chat coming in from Discreet Luca. Thank you so much for the $5. He says, do your chair spin intro. All right. I was just lifting some weights yesterday, so my back's a little it's a little sore, so that hurt. I've decided I've like totally invested. I'm getting like a bench that can incline and decline and stuff. I'm doing I'm trying to mostly work on like the back and the top of my deltoids, because those are typically underdeveloped. As like when you do push-ups and stuff, you do hit the front, but you don't really hit the back and the top. So it's not quite as like 3D, I guess, as it could be. And then a lot of people, they don't get a lot of back stuff. So like I'm just working on kind of my upper chest and back and shoulders to try and get those more full. And then on top of that, I just getting like eating healthier recently and stuff. Just becoming a healthier human. Because why not? Working out to turn faster. Yeah, to protect my spine. Can you turn your head like an owl? Dread Knight Gaming says, great man, I'm heavily invested in the gym as well. What's your daily protein intake in grams? Yeah, so I recently just started like lifting weights seriously again. I hadn't done that for a while. I got really busy and just stopped doing that. So I started seriously weightlifting again. I'm just gonna probably put on a lot of muscle again, because why not? Because I can. I like typically what I do is I just eat protein heavy meals. Like I'll just have like lean meats and greens all day is kind of what I try and do. I haven't put together like an actual eating schedule yet, which I do actually need to do. Like if you're gonna get serious into weightlifting, if you plan out every single meal, that will actually help. However, we're getting a little off topic here, so I'll wrap this up quick. But I like after lifting weights, I will actually like have one of those protein shake things. Like you put the whey protein in, because it's a good like add. All right, but in any case, we got off topic. We need to talk about GPUs again. My Influx, thank you so much for the $5. He says check Discord. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try, guys. I'm gonna try and get back into my Discord on my desktop. I'll see if I can find out what my password was. Let's see. All right, so I gotta log out here. Yep. All right, I'm gonna try and get back in. Let's see. I feel like I should be able to guess this pretty quick. Hey, I guessed it first try. I don't know what I was doing last time. Oh, never mind. I didn't guess it. Dang. All right, let's try that. God, jeez. Okay, what about this? That wasn't it. Jeez. All right. I got a few more guesses, and then I'm calling it quits. All right. Shoot. I'm calling it quits. I'll have to guess it later. I'll have to do a password reset and get into it later. But don't worry, I do have it on my phone. I guess I could check my phone here. Let me check. I got my phone on me. I just remembered. All right. Someone said check the Discord, so I'm checking the Discord. How about a stream that you give away a card to buy secret word at the end of the stream? Winner buys it from you. Yeah, I could maybe do something like that if I get a card. And then Vilo says Zotac, ugly or no? I think it's not a bad looking card. All right, back to answering some questions here. I do have to wrap up this stream in about a half an hour, so I got about a half an hour left. So I can't do it quite as long as usual today. Let's see. What's the GPU stock like? When do you think it will improve? Do you think about what do you think about DDR5? I'm still here with my GTX 1050 non-TI version. GPU stock is horrible. It's so bad, guys. It is like just atrocious. It's going to get better, but it's going to require a little bit of patience. I think over the next couple months it should get better, especially, let me look up what Bitcoin price is at right now. I'm curious about this because this is part of the problem. It's kind of still where it was at. So yeah, that's fantastic. But here's the problem. So even in a couple months, if everyone starts spending their money on other things and they're not buying as much computer parts, that's going to make it easier for you. But it's not going to completely solve the problem because there's still going to be mining. So it's not going to be like, you're not going to be able to just go buy whatever card whenever you want. It's going to be a little while for that. But soon you should have better chances. Right now, it is absolutely horrible. It is so bad. It's maybe the worst it's ever been. So, yeah, that's not great. Ethereum is over 2K. Jeez, that's not good. That is not good, guys. Frankie says Ethereum is the problem, not Bitcoin. Cannot mine Bitcoin. Well, here's the thing, though. Bitcoin kind of determines the value of all other altcoins. Not necessarily directly, but it's like when Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum goes up. It's almost 1-to-1. So, yeah, that's why I just talk about Bitcoin. My dog keeps farting. How do I stop this? Tell him to stop. The other day, my girlfriend was like, "Hey, I can't reach this," and I was like, "Well, then just grow faster." What are the specs of your personal computer? Right now, my personal computer is the same as my work computer because I can't have two different computers. It's already ridiculously expensive. I got a 5900X, 32 gigs of RAM. I'm going to be doing a custom loop 3090 in there, probably mostly for the content. And then I recently just randomly in a bundle got a really nice motherboard, so I changed out my motherboard. I did have an X570 Tough, but I changed to a B550 Asus ROG Strix. Main reason, Wi-Fi 6, a Type-C connector for the front of a case, so I can connect Type-C case connectors into it. And then it also had Intel Ethernet and it had better VRMs, which was kind of wild because I thought the Tough had really good VRMs. All right. You Wi-Fi don't use Wi-Fi? Well, I don't really use Wi-Fi, but if you're in a pinch, it is nice to have Wi-Fi 6. That's nice. I do Intel Ethernet. That's what I'm using, baby. What monitor do you use? I actually bought a used. It had like a few scratches on it, so I got it for half off. But I bought a used PG27UQ, which is a HDR 1000, 144 hertz 4K monitor, and it is like the picture quality is fantastic. It's amazing. What phone do you use? That's kind of funny. I was trying to squeeze way more life out of my S8 Plus. I had a Samsung S8 Plus, but first started having charging issues with it, which admittedly I probably could have dug in there and seen if I could have like pulled some lint out of it, and maybe that would have, because when you put phones in your pocket, eventually you get some lint in the charger port and stuff. It just happens. And so if you do maintenance on the charger port, you can sometimes fix little problems like that, and I may have been able to do that. But I was having that problem. On top of that, the battery was not lasting. Like the charge was lasting. I'd have to charge it like twice a day. It was ridiculous. And then on top of that, it just was like having some problems. It started having like some corruption problems. So I had to get a new phone, and I went, screw it. I'm just going to buy basically the nicest phone. I got like the lowest capacity, but I got a Samsung S21 Ultra because I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy the best one I can. Which probably isn't a good idea, but sometimes you just want things. Sometimes you're like, I'm upgrading. I'm just going to get what I want. I try and make my phones last like 5+ years. I run them into the ground because I hate spending money on phones. It sucks. Can you do an impression of a British accent? Oh, man, it's been a while since I've done that. I don't know if I can. Liquid metal custom loops. Yeah, so we were talking about this earlier. I don't know if you're just getting it here. By the way, someone else said, is B&H legit? They're absolutely legit. so I'm considering, so I'm going to be doing a custom loop on my 3090 Strix, and I may actually do liquid metal on it as well. So I was talking about that earlier. One Linus's 3080 program. That's wild. That's pretty nice. What GPU do you advise for Ryzen 950 900X? That's like really depends on your monitor resolution. I like genuinely can't tell you. Like I could be like anywhere from a 1650 to a 3090. Depends on what you're doing. What are your thoughts on DDR5? DDR5 is going to be amazing. If you get like a really nice kit of DDR5, maybe not the first batch, but like the second batch of DDR5, you get a really nice overclocking kit, it's going to be really great. JST says it's not worth the liquid metal on a GPU. You're going to have to reapply in a year, and that's just pain in a custom loop. Just get some good cryo knot, and you're fine. Well, the thing is, if you have a nickel-plated copper plate, you shouldn't have to reapply it. You should be able to get a couple good years out of it. It may be worth reapplying, but realistically, you should be able to get some good years out of it. If you have a copper one, you're gonna have to reapply that pretty frequently, like 6 months to a year, yeah. But for me, I'm not sure. I think right away I'm gonna try just thermal paste. And then if the temperatures are still high, then I'll try liquid metal. Liquid metal will drop temperatures more simply because when you start doing custom loop, it no longer becomes the cooler that's the bottleneck. It starts to become the thermal interface material that starts to become the bottleneck. So that's why it will help in a custom loop, and it's definitely not worth it for an air cooler. But right away I'm going to do thermal paste, and if the temperatures are still high, I'll switch to liquid metal, and then I will basically report what the temperature differences were. I'll record all that stuff. It'll be interesting. JST says it's just not worth the maybe 1C temperature difference. Actually, if you're in a, it is not worth it for an air cooler like I mentioned, but if you're in a loop, I've seen people report up to 10 degrees Celsius difference between regular thermal paste and liquid metal, simply because, like I said, if you got a giant 420 AIO, that's no longer going to be your bottleneck. It's going to be how fast can you get the heat out of the GPU into the radiator until it seeps out and you have a short. Well, that's why you use either like some nail polishes will work on the capacitors, or you can also use like a liquid tape. Essentially, it's like a liquid electric tape, and you paint over the capacitors after cleaning them very, very well. And then even if something did leak out, if you put too much if you put too much liquid metal on it and it squeezed out, it wouldn't actually short anything. But yeah, it's a lot of extra work, and if you're already getting good temperatures, then it's not necessary. Let's see. I managed to get a Gen 4 NVMe today. Yeah, those are fast. Yesterday. Are you trying to do some extreme overclocking? Because if it's just for daily use, it's not worth it. I know the tinker feeling of wanting to improve everything at any cost, but it's going to be a pain in the ass. Well, yeah, here's the thing. It will improve temperatures. I'm almost certain it would improve temperatures by at least 5 degrees, if not 10 degrees. And that's interesting and it's fun to do, but it's applying the liquid metal itself. That's what is tedious, because you have to apply the right amount. You have to like test it. Nvidia doesn't tell you hot spots. You just have to measure your temperatures and fan speeds to make sure that it's in line with what it should be compared to what your GPU average temperature is reporting. And you have to go over the capacitors, and it is a lot of extra work when you could just simply slap the GPU right into a pre-done GPU plate for water cooling. It's a lot easier. So that's where the tedium comes in. And plus, removing thermal, what was it, liquid metal? Removing liquid metal when you go to sell it after upgrading can kind of be a pain too, because it's not as easy to just wipe off. Let's see what we got. The bruh momentum. Ollie Sagittarius says, bro, I love your vids, man. Watch it almost every morning before work. Keep up the good stuff. Andrew says 5600X is running at 40 degrees Celsius for idle and 65 at max, 240 AIO. Is that good? Yeah, that's really good. That's good. JC says also if you're going to get a water block, get one of the new EK water blocks that actually cool both sides, the PCB. So I'm not going to be like actually water cooling the back of the PCB. But the Corsair one does come with a back plate with thermal pads on the back that will help dissipate heat. I may just point a fan at it or something like that to help reduce temperatures. But you also have to remember that the memory's on both sides, and it transfers kind of both ways. It goes up and down. And so if you have a really cool liquid cooler on the bottom, taking heat out of the bottom memory chips, it will reduce the temperature of the top memory chips as well. And then on top of that, if you've got a metal backplate with thermal pads on top, between that, it should be fine. Laybot1, thank you so much for the $5. He says, how you been doing? Love the channel. If you had to pick between the RX 6800 XT Asus Strix OC or Founders Edition RX 6900 XT, which one did you pick? I think I would probably do the 6800 XT Strix. I'm guessing you'd probably get better overclocks out of it. But if it was a lot more expensive, maybe not. But I'm assuming the 6800 XT would be a lot cheaper than the 6900 XT, even if it is the third party. JC says the EK water block actually cools both sides. It runs water to both sides of the boards. That's kind of nice. That's neat. I don't need that though. It's okay for GDDR6X to run a little hot. It's fine. And if the air cooler that I'm using now runs them fine, overclocked, water cooling them, it's certainly going to be fine. The same, having better cooling on the bottom will only lower the temperatures compared to what it is now. So it's already improvement. It'll be fine. Is your 5900X hot? I use my 5800X with NZXT X73 and it goes straight to 80 degrees, even with PBO undervolt. Fans at 41% and pump at 50 for silence. You may want to check your mounting pressure as well as thermal paste application. That's too hot. That's about 15 degrees hotter at least than it should be. So I'd check on that. Because some of them will be hotter than others. They'll have hot spots, but that seems a little hot. Mine typically, like if I'm going to pull up hardware info right now, actually, let me check. So I got, running 4.8 gigahertz and 4.85. I'm streaming at the same time. And if I take a look at my temperatures right now, I'm actually only at 40 degrees Celsius while streaming. So that's a little hot. And this is an all-core overclock. So this is like hotter than it would be with PBO. Well, maybe PBO could actually be hotter if you're running single-thread stuff that pumps it up to like 1.48 volts or something, because I'm just running like a solid 1.3 volts, I think, into the CPU. That's a voltage I feel comfortable with to run on my own chips. Yeah, 1.306 volts it's reporting right now. This motherboard's crazy though. The default LLC was stupid. It was like I'd punch in 1.3 volts and it'd be like, all right, 1.32 volts, and I'm like, you guys have a LLC that overshoots by default? Wouldn't you want it to droop by default? Like that's weird. Idle 50 to 4.9 to 49, 75 max. Okay. It's running 78 degrees while running Valheim and your stream on another monitor. That's a little warm, but that doesn't seem like way out of line. But you guys got to also remember, I'm using a 420 millimeter AIO on this CPU, so it's got some really good cooling. And I'm using Cryonaut thermal paste. Best motherboard for Radeon 6900 XT and 5900X. I know the last two boards I used were really good. There's some good content out there from like Hardware Unboxed showing some good X570 B550 motherboards. Off the top of my head, the last two I've used have been fantastic. The Asus Tough X570 and the B550 Strix Gaming E. Those two have been fantastic. How many PCs have you built till now? Like 100 plus, easily. Maybe hundreds. I've built a lot of computers. I used to build and sell computers, and then I worked for a place where we would like refurbish computers. So I've built a lot of computers. What's the better buy, 3090 Strix or 3090 Tough? I think the Tough would be a better investment just because you would, yes, it's not going to have the higher power limit and it won't be quite as fast, but it's a lot cheaper. And it's got a really good cooler still, so I doubt the Tough's cooler is any worse than the Strix. And the Strix is not that impressive to me. It's like, it's a fine cooler for a 3080, but a 480 watt 3090, it's not good enough in my opinion. All right, I am going to be wrapping up the stream in like 10 minutes here, guys, though. So if you got any last pressing questions, get them in now, and I'll be wrapping it up. But thank you, everyone, so much for watching so far. Again, if everyone who sent me a super chat during this whole live stream, get a hold of me after the show. I'll get you a link to the Discord just to remind everyone. Everyone wanted me to try and sell cards in the Discord, so I'll try my best. I'll try and get some new cards and sell some RTX 30 series cards in the Discord. I'm not even be looking at AMD cards because, frankly, they're just too expensive and you're not going to want them. The AIB cards you can get for AMD are just ridiculous. They're way too expensive. Maybe if I can find one straight from AMD, but other than that, so that's how I'll be doing it. I'll try though. There's no promises. I may not actually get a card in many cards or any cards. Who knows? Will there be a 5600 non-X version coming out soon? Oh, I'm sure there will, because 11th Gen will push AMD into doing that pretty soon. Do you not check Instagram? I do, but it's hard. I don't go on Instagram as much because they make it not very user friendly. The way they like have their messaging system doesn't work very well. It's hard to explain, but it's much easier to respond to people on Twitter or my email. I snagged an MSI Ventus 3 3090 yesterday, and the only block available is a Corsair one. Are they still having problems? No, so I actually looked into this, and it looks like the 20 series Corsair blocks had a problem where if you put pressure on the part where the loop meets the block, it would actually let water drip or sometimes spray out. It looks like some of that had to do with A, the material they were using, as well as B, they only had 2 screws in it on the edges where they didn't have a third one in the middle. If you look at their newest blocks, they have a screw here, and a screw here. So there's 3 screws, 2 on the side, 1 in the middle. I think the material they're using is different as well. I haven't heard anyone talk about the RTX 30 series blocks having issues. So I think there's no issues. And trust me, I would not be hooking one up to a 3090 if I didn't think that. So you should be fine. You can still get a leak if you really try, but it's unreasonable types of forces. I mean, you can make anything leak if you try. If you start yanking on pipes and fittings and just put it together and don't touch it. You won't have a problem. In fact, people who put their stuff together and didn't touch it with the 20 series really didn't have problems unless you got a defective one. But yeah, if you pushed on it, you would have a problem. But now you shouldn't even if you bump it, you probably won't have a problem. I highly doubt you'd have a problem. I'm talking about like enough force to yank the card out of the PCIe slot. Yeah, exactly. Like it should be very, very good now. And I like the Corsair one. You know, they seemed more reasonably priced, and it looks like it's easier to put together. And like if you're getting into water cooling loops for the first time, it seems like they kind of only have like one fitting size and stuff. It seems like it just makes it easy. But in any case, now's your chance to get your last questions in here before I wrap the stream up. About roughly 5 more minutes. When you think stock will come back for older gen cards like 20 series and 5000 series? There's probably not going to be a lot of that. DDR5 RAM will probably be very overpriced at the beginning. Yeah, probably. They typically are. British miners website legit? Probably not. Anything that has mining in the website? Probably not. Hate to break it to you guys, but I know some people might not like this because they're into mining, but the mining community has a lot of scamming that goes on. Like a lot of scamming. Like a crazy amount of scamming. So be very careful about what you download, what websites you go to if you're getting into that whole mining with your GPU that's in your system. just be careful because there's a lot of scamming that goes on in that community. Case recommendations. I'm really liking this Fractal MeshFi S2 XL. I mine, and I would say 80% of the mining community are scammers. You're not wrong. It's like scammers, people mining. Oh, jeez. Let's see. I run a 3060 with a Ryzen 5600X and a B550F Strix board. Any adjustments I should look into upgrade my next time? Not really. That looks fine to me. Does the new resizable bar on 3090 make a huge difference? Oh yeah, so I got resizable bar working on my 3090 Strix, and I don't know. I haven't been playing any of the games that are whitelisted, so I couldn't tell you. But it's nice to have. It looks like it's going to be like an average of 5%-ish or less gain, kind of, is what I was getting. But there are some games, like one of them apparently is up to 12% faster. That's pretty good. Let's see. It's nice to have resizable bar. Why not if you can have it? Yeah. It was pretty easy too. Just make sure to back up your current BIOS before you do it in case something goes wrong or the BIOS you flashed to no longer has overclocking or something like that. Who knows? I heard 3 to 5% on average, but every bit counts. Yeah, I mean, people are overclocking and drawing tons of watts just to get 3 to 5%. I'm French and I want to know when we can buy some $250 graphics card. Oh, low-end or entry-level gaming. I'm not doing this because like I'm mad that people are entry-level gaming. I'm doing this because I'm mad that entry-level gaming is like, where is it? Like, with everything being out of stock, it's like where? When are we ever getting entry-level gaming back again? You're not wrong. I look tired. I am tired. I don't know when entry-level gaming is coming back. I don't know when you're getting a $250 video card. Like, seriously. I would assume that the 3050 Ti and 3050 will be coming out soon, and then you'll get something. But they're going to charge as much as they can for those right now. And why wouldn't they? If they're selling every single thing they can make. It's getting annoying. I really wish the $250 price point was back. I wish you could buy a good GPU for $250 right now, and I don't know when that's going to be. When do you think things will go back to normal? To normal is going to be a long time. When you may actually be able to buy a GPU, maybe a couple months. But like normal, walk into a store and get a graphics card, year. Do you think AMD 80% increase in 7 nanometer capacity will give us more cards? Yes. How much time? Pretty fast. In a matter of months. Q2 2022 is when the CEO of Cisco said they expect their supplies to normalize. Yeah, like normal is going to take a while, guys. It just is. If everyone starts spending their money out, not on video cards again, though, like they go outside and they start going to theaters and going on boats and planes and all this other stuff people like to do, and mining goes away, it's going to happen quick. But I don't know if mining is going to go away quick. I know there's a lot of people in the tech community who have been saying like, mining, it always goes up and goes down. It's going to go away. It won't take very long. They don't actually know that. Like, there's no way they could know that. It's not like it was. There's companies invested in crypto and stuff now. Like, it's not guaranteed. We don't know what's going to happen. So, even with EIP 1159, it's not going to fix things. It just won't. I know someone just put that in the chat, but that's going to help with Ethereum. But you still got Ravencoin and other coins you can mine in exchange for Bitcoin and US dollars and stuff. So it's until Bitcoin like flatlines basically, or like GPU mining gets banned or something, it's just, who knows? Like, you got all these companies investing in it now. I have no idea when it's going to go back to normal. It's like, this is not how it used to be. This is not people suddenly mining and it becoming popular for no reason. This is like, there's a lot more factors at play now. So, I mean, EIP 1159 might help, but it's not going to suddenly fix things overnight. So, I all I can say is I hope it happens tomorrow. I hope Bitcoin mining goes away tomorrow, or sorry, Ethereum mining. But it's, at this point, nobody knows. EIP 1559. Yeah, that's, I believe you're right. All right, so I'm going to answer about one more question here, and then I do have to go. Actually, I have a lot of other stuff I got to get done today. So, plus people still mine to get a bunch of crypto saved. But yeah, I don't think people are going to drop out like they used to. But I don't know what's going to happen. I can't tell you. I have no idea, and nobody knows. I know, like, I've heard people from other channels say like, oh, it's just going to drop off. And it's like, dude, I don't know. Like, you don't know that either. Nobody knows. It's seriously way too hard. And there's also people on the other side who are like, it's going to hit $5 million. And like, ding, 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 woo, woo. Like, they don't know either. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. You can't even make like a good guess. Like, it's seriously, there's that many factors at play that you literally cannot make a good guess, because the inflation could get like horrible and this becomes the new gold. It's digital gold and people put all their money in it and it does go up a ton. Or the US and the UK or in the EU could all make their digital currency and basically make Bitcoin irrelevant. It could suddenly, all of a sudden, nobody wants to invest in Bitcoin because you can invest in digital dollars because maybe they're not inflationary. We have no idea. There's tons of companies that could buy in or sell. There's like, it literally, there's no way of knowing. There's just no way. People are only saying what they want to happen. If you hear people saying it's going to hit $500,000, they're just saying that because they want it to happen. And they're going to find mental gymnastics to find a way where it could happen, because it could happen. And people who say it's going to crash and be worth $0 are just saying that because they want it to happen. And they're going to find a way in which it could happen. Again, it could happen. So, yeah, just don't believe. If someone tells you they know what's going to happen with Bitcoin or Ethereum, they don't. They absolutely do not. There's no way. Nothing is real. But in any case, all right, guys, I'm going to have to wrap this one up. I'll answer one more question, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So, someone said Best Buy sucks. Hey, I kind of like Best Buy now. I didn't, but now I do. All right. Do a backflip. Does it look like A, do you think I could do one? And B, does it look like I have space for a backflip over here? I got lights. I got studio lights. All right. Thanks, man. Love the channel and keep up the good work. Do a barrel roll. Buy Roblox stocks. Yeah. There's some investment advice for you. But in any case, I think I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm tired, as you can tell. I've been doing stuff all night. Like, I've been looking at computer stuff, and there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do, so I gotta go. So, I'll see you guys in the next stream. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. And, of course, I'll see you in the next video.